Welcome to Slimefoot, the Stowaway. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We have some great protection for Slimefoot. We also have some good card draw on Phyrexian Arena. We will have the Tainted Wood online. And we also have Putrefy, if our opponent's going to get it down Jodah and start casting some of that 5-color goodness that they probably have in that deck. So, let's take a look at Slimefoot the Stowaway. Whenever a sapling you control dies, Slimefoot deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. Then for a 4-mana activation, create a 1-mana green sapling creature token, and our opponent's going to get down a plateau and pass the turn. See what we draw into. Let's go and get down Swamp, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. Playing against Jodah, Archmage Eternal, which reminds me, I need to build Jodah, and I'll kind of talk about that here in a second. Flying, you may pay Wooburg rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. So, I've been kind of stuck on where to go with Jodah, and let's see. Drawing a Tainted Strike, okay. Let's go and get down, actually, we're going to get down Tainted Wood, and let's go and tap out for Lightning Greaves, green and then black, and then anything else, kick it back over there. But yeah, as far as Jodah goes, I've had a couple different builds of Jodah that I've been looking at. Typically, a lot of the things that you do see is those big, really awesome spells, stuff like that Pegasus card, we get a ton of Pegasus down. But as far as my build of Jodah, I'm thinking about kind of building a 5-color Aristocrats deck, but so it's kind of taking a little bit more time than I initially thought. So that's kind of going to be somewhere on the horizon. I may not see it before the M19 comes out, but it's on my game plan. Let's go and get down Swamp. Let's go and go for Phyrexian Arena. Let's go and get that card draw going, and then we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Opponent did get down Azusa Lost but Seeking, but they're only looking at 4 lands on the battlefield. The only downside to running because 5-color Aristocrats is something I've wanted to build for a while. I ended up building our Trax Aristocrats, which was a lot of fun, but with us having 5-color, it kind of opens us up into red, which there's a lot of creatures that, at least in red, that do have enter the battlefield triggers to where you can get a lot of tokens off of that. And so it also kind of puts us in a spot where we can also pay for only for 5 mana for something like Rise of the Dark Realms, where we get to bring a bunch of creature backs onto the battlefield. So kind of something I'm working on. In fact, if you know, red is the only color in Aristocrats. Ooh, drawn to Keen Sense. I like that. Let's go ahead and get that down. I think that sounds good. I was going to go for Force. Let's go tap out for Slimefoot. And what we're going to end up doing on this one is putting it on Keen Sense and then putting the Lightning Greaves onto that. Let's go and go for Keen Sense onto Slimefoot. And let's go and go for Lightning Greaves. There we go. Let's go and push in at Ralzeric. We're only looking at a 1-2 from our opponent, so I'm okay with pushing in on Ralzeric on this one. Okay, knock down Ralzeric to 3, and then anything else we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, as far as next turn goes, we do have Tainted Strike. Now, one of the cool things with Slimefoot is that it deals damage instead of life loss. It's not a true Aristocrats style effect. So with Tainted Strike, if we get enough creatures on the battlefield, we can actually close it out with Infect damage. So kind of depending on what our opponent gets going, we definitely do have that line of play. Now, our opponent can pay Wooburg for their mana spells without casting them. Unfortunately, they do not have a black source at this point right now. And so we'll probably end up going for Putrefy next turn, at least just to kind of get that commander tax up on our opponent's commander. All right, drawn to Sanguine Bond, and then we draw to Go for the Throat. And let's go and tap out for Hissing Quagmire. Yeah, and let's go and go for the Throat. Our opponent does have blue mana open, but at this point right now, yeah, I like going for that. Let's go and go for the Throat. It's going to be that and that. All right, take care of that, send Jodah back to the command zone, and let's go and push in on Ralzeric again. Okay, knock him down to 2, and let's go and tap out for Jade Mage. That's going to be green, and then 1 black off that one. Get down Jade Mage, and then anything else we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, we can get down Bond if we need to. At this point right now, if we had something like Thread Dynamo, we'd probably end up going for that one. But at this point, since we do have Tainted Strike, I'd really like to get as many sapling tokens onto the battlefield. We do have a couple different ways to kind of amplify our tokens too. But more than likely, we might end up tapping out for a Spore Swarm, especially with Phyrexian Arena on the battlefield. And it's going to allow us to hopefully draw into some sort of sack outlet, and then we can start sacrificing some of these creatures. Now, Jade Mage is really good in the deck, and it has a 3-mana activation. So basically, it kind of allows us to go for a Slimefoot activation for only 3 mana, which allows us to get a few more creatures onto the battlefield. All right, opponent will be tapping out for Jodah again, which does put us online for another Putrefy. I always hate, we need to do that. We have the removal spell. We're going to go for it. But it always feels really bad whenever somebody gets a commander down back-to-back and you've got back-to-back removal spells. Feels pretty good to get that commander tax going, especially something like Jodah. All right, our opponent will pass the turn back over to us. Let's see what we draw into. We got the Phyrexian Arena trigger, Lana Warwaste, and then we draw into Naturalize, which is no artifacts or enchantments on our opponent's side of the board. Let's go and go for Lana Warwaste. That's going to put us at total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total mana. I'd really like to take care of Jodah, even though they don't have that activation. If they simply get down a black source next turn, which might be their only card in the hand, who knows. Yeah, I like going for Putrefy. That keeps us online for going for a Jade Mage activation. Let's go and go for that. Let's go for Putrefy on Jodah. Let's be 1, 2, 3. Take care of that, and let's go and push in with Yeah, let's go and send the whole crew in on Rouse Eric. Actually, we'll just simply send in Slimefoot on this one because they'll probably end up making that trade. They're only at one card in the hand, and so at this point right now, they would probably make that trade on Jade Mage, and at least we'll keep it on the battlefield to get those sapling tokens going. All right, knocked Rouse Eric down to 1, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Now, unfortunately, we are sitting at only 3 mana, so we can't go for Spore Swarm. So we'll probably end up going for a Jade Mage activation. Then we'll start working towards getting down Spore Swarm. Hopefully, we can kind of hold out long enough to maybe draw into something that'll amplify it. But at this point right now, we'll just simply try to go ahead and get it down. Opponent's going to go for Iona, Shield of Amera. Choose a color, can't cast spells of the chosen color. Anything that we're going to do in response to that? More than likely, we'll see black off of this one, but let's see what they name. Okay, an opponent does choose black, so that does cut us off Sanguine Bond and then Tainted Strike in our hand. Let's go and go for a Jade Mage activation. That's going to be 1, 2, and then 3. And then drawn to Bloodthrone Vamp. Oh, that's a bummer. Finally get our sack outlet, and we have Iona on the battlefield. Okay, let's go and get Forest down. So at this point right now, we can get down 3 sapling tokens. If we leave up Jade Mage, we're looking at 2 more on the battlefield. Let's do this. Let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. I don't know if we necessarily want to swing into Rouse Eric. Well, probably if we swing with the whole crew, at least knock them down to 1 for Rouse Eric, and that allows us to draw on a card off Slimefoot. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go and swing in Slimefoot. Excuse me, let's go and swing. I said Slimefoot, I meant to say sapling token. Let's go and swing in at Rouse Eric for 1. Hopefully we'll see a block from Azusa or Iona. That'll give us an additional card draw off Keen Sins once we deal that damage. Hopefully maybe kind of find some sort of answer for Iona. Alright, Azusa's going to jump in front of the sapling. And yes, we're going to use that ability. Draw him to Golgari Signet. Okay, and then let's go and get down Golgari Signet. It's going to be 1, 2. And then we'll end up tapping out for Spore Swarm next turn. That'll put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 total mana. Excuse me, 6 total mana. That's kind of Jade Mage is a mana dork. And then anything else we'll go and pass turn to our opponent. Like I said, we do have Naturalize in the hand. So if they do get down some sort of black source, mana rock, we can at least go for that. But if not, we're going to go for Spore Swarm. And then hopefully see if we can't draw our way out of this one with something like Phyrexian Arena. Ooh. Yeah, let's go and go for Spore Swarm in response to that. It's going to be 1, 2. Let's tap out on Signet. Okay, get those saplings down. Let's see what we draw into off of Time Twister. Necrogenesis, which we cannot cast. We can actually get down Tindershoot Dryad, which should be really good in this match. Oh, there we go. Finally run into Parallel Lives. Okay, we tried to hold on to it as long as possible. So as far as next turn goes, we did draw into 2 green swords, which is really good. And then Tindershoot Dryad, we're going to be able to get that down. And we will have that City's Blessings, which is going to allow us to hopefully kind of push past Azusa on this one. And most importantly, our opponent did get down a black source in that swamp. So we'll see if they're going to be able to take advantage of it. They do have 5 cards in the hand off of that Time Twister, allowing them to kind of refuel their hand. And our opponent will get down Mirari's Wake, which is really going to turn on the mana for our opponent. And unfortunately, we shuffled away that Naturalize, so we could have used that one. Opponent's going to go for Rouse Eric. Anything we're going to do in response to that? No, that's fine. Go and tap it down. We'll at least go and float that mana to kind of represent some sort of green spell. And our opponent goes for Temporal Manipulation, taking an extra turn off this one. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Go for it. Iona's going to swing in for 8, which is going to put us down to 19. And then we'll be able to kind of go from there. Now, as far as how much mana goes, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll have 9 once we get down Windswept Heath. So that kind of puts us online for Parallel Lives. And then we'll also start going for those Jade Mage activations. So if we kind of want to do a little bit of setting up, let's see. Let's go and give them Golgari Signet. That way they at least have to kind of tap out for that one. But yeah, so like I mentioned, we get down Parallel Lives. We go for a couple Jade Mage activations the next turn to kind of utilize our mana. And then we slam down Tindershoot Dryad, which is going to give that nice power and toughness bonus. Now, if they have another extra turn spell, we'll kind of see what they've got going on. They only have 2 cards in the hand at this point right now, and they did get down Karn, so hopefully they're kind of running out of gas at this point right now. And if they're going to be tapping out for Jodah, that'll also be additionally good off of that too. Ooh, opponent's going to go for Whispering One. That's actually pretty good, because we'll have to sacrifice a creature, and then which allows us to kind of go for that activation off Slimefoot with Keen Sense to get a little bit of extra card draw. We have the Sheoldred Whispering One trigger that's going to sacrifice a sapling. We're going to gain 1 life, and then they lose the life. Also, yes, we're going to use that ability, draw a card, draw in the swamp. So we rip off the Phyrexian Arena trigger, drawn to Night's Whisper, and drawn to Costly Plunder, which we cannot cast because of Iona on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and get down Windswept Heath. We have not searched up Bayou yet. Let's go and get down Bayou, and that's going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 mana. Yeah, let's go and go for Parallel Lives on this one. I like that. Let's go and tap out on Signet. And let's go and go for Tindershoot Dryad. The good thing about Tindershoot Dryad is it does trigger at the beginning of each upkeep. So that's going to give us a ton of tokens on the battlefield to really kind of start working with Shieldred, Whispering One, and work really well with Parallel Lives. I do want to swing into this particular board state at this point right now. Now let's just go and pass the turn. Okay, we get those 2 saplings onto the battlefield. Now Shieldred does have Swamp Walk, so they will be able to swing in for a pretty good chunk of damage this next turn. We're looking at 7 coming across, putting us down to 11, and then we have another 8 coming from Iona. And then actually, if they go for the... No, they still have to plus up on Ralzeric. Let's go and put the Dimir Signet into our opponent's hand. But yeah, if they had +1 on Ralzeric for the -2, that'd be 3 damage. Ash would definitely kind of take care of it. All right, opponent's going to go for Dimir Signet. Opponent's going to tap down Tindershoot Dryad. And opponent will be tapping out for Jodah with no cards in the hand. Now, we'll see if we'll be able to survive next turn. There's probably not much that we can draw into to take care of Iona. But if Iona was not on the battlefield, this would be a perfect example of what you want to get going in a Slimefoot. You can get Keen Sense on there, get down some card draw, get down Parallel Lives. We're also getting to the point now where if we were able to get down Viscera Seer, we could really start sacrificing these cards to really get some really good card draw going. All right, actually, our opponent does not swing in with Shieldred. All right. So get the Tindershoot Dryad trigger on the stack, then Shieldred, Whispering One. We're going to sacrifice one of the sapling tokens, draw into Doomblade, and then draw into Toxic Deluge, and then Nature's Claim. Okay, let's go and get down Woodland Cemetery. Let's go and tap out for Mind Stone, because really, we can go for Nature's Claim to gain a little bit of life off this one, but I'm afraid it's going to be a little too hard for us to get that going. Let's go and tap out for Signet. Let's go and go for Mind Stone. Let's go ahead and crack Mind Stone to draw an additional card. Not really sure what we're trying to draw into, but it's better than anything at this point. And then, yeah, I guess we're just simply going to go and pass the turn. If we wanted to, we could swing the whole crew in to get a little bit of card draw going. But we'll just walk right into Whispering One. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go and send all the sapling tokens in at Ralzeric. That way we can at least kind of start working towards that -2 ability so we're not just dead in the air. So I'm going to swing in at Ralzeric and then send one more creature in at Ralzeric. So it's going to be 3 at Ralzeric. You know, if opponent wants to go for Whispering One, they can definitely chump block on that one. That allows us to gain a little bit of life, and that kind of puts it in a spot to where, depending on how they block, we might be able to get just enough Aristocrat triggers from Slimefoot to kind of get our life total up, to where we can end up tapping out for a Nature's Claim on one of our artifacts. Okay, we're going to gain 1 life, and then our opponent's going to lose 1 life. We get to draw an additional card too. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Draw into Command Tower. And then anything else, no, we're going to go and pass turn. We'll have to discard down to hand size. Let's go and get rid of our lands at this point right now, and especially Bloodstained Mire. And who knows, these are a lot of really good black cards. We're going to get rid of Genesis at this point right now. All right, let's go for that Tindershoot Dryad trigger, and then our opponent's going to go for the Whispering One, bringing Azusa back to the battlefield. Like I said, if they do swing in, that's going to be 15 coming across. We will be able to gain 4 life off of Nature's Claim. That will put our life total down right at 0, so we'll see how they do want to swing across. And our opponent ends up going for the Ralzeric -3 onto Tindershoot Dryad. Let's go and give our opponent Swamp off this one, that Karn trigger. And our opponent's going to get down Chromatic Lantern, but yeah, more than likely they're going to be able to close it out on this one. We'll see how they want to swing in, though. Yeah, flying, and then Swamp Walk, yep. Who knows if our opponent ends up going for some sort of spell that gives us a little bit of extra life off this one, but we're not going to be able to block it in the air, and unfortunately our opponent's going to get it on this one. It's going to knock us down to -9. But as far as the Slimefoot showing, our opponent definitely earned this one, and we sent Jodah back to the command zone twice, and they were able to get a lot of really big creatures out there. And Iona on the battlefield, naming black, completely shut our deck off. You know, imagine Iona's not on the battlefield. We have all these saplings going. We end up going for something like a Toxic Deluge with a Tainted Strike. It's going to be a lot of infect damage to our opponent, or simply just a lot of card draw and a lot of Aristocrats off of that. We could have got down Viscera Seer to start sacrificing some of those creatures, but our opponent's going to get it with that Iona. So, shout out to our opponent. Definitely a good game. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.